you so much for being here.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you. What a bio, what a career. I will say I'm most interested in Dennis Dupree. That's freaking awesome.
Oh my God. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever worked on in my life.
Yeah, me and Lee are
Yeah.
both huge Broadway buffs, so
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
that's
That Ellie's gonna co-opt our whole episode now to just talk
just
about
talk Broadway. No. But very, very cool. So
It honestly, it, it was the hardest thing and the most fun that I've ever worked on.
Mm.
And oh my God, I still can't believe I got to do it. I'm disappointed because the pandemic hit 2 weeks in. I was 2 weeks into my 6 week run, and then the pandemic hit. So I had like, yeah,
did you ever
No.
go back? Like maybe
I
not
would
to that
totally go
show,
back.
but
Yeah,
something else?
I would love to go back for something else. Maybe, you never know.
Fingers crossed.
I know,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah, right.
Listen, as people currently working on a super queer musical, we are all for like just all the Broadway all the time. That's what we want. We want more like us and you on Broadway. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
Together.
let's do that. Let's put it out there and maybe it'll happen soon.
Yes. Wait, Dot, do you know the musical Six? Have
I,
you heard of
you
it?
know what? I don't.
Well, you should
We're
listen
about
to it.
to rock
I'm not
the
even,
world
I was not
whenever
trying to
you
do this,
check it
but
out.
I was just like, we'll be three of the queens in Six. They're all like,
Yes.
they're all queens.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yes, it would be beautiful.
Can you imagine like an all gay Six production?
I mean, it already sort of is, but
Well,
yes, definitely.
Coming soon on A Should Have Been Gay. Broadway's
Six.
Six. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But yes, but let's dive into more of your career, all the stuff you've done, Dot. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Glee to start because I feel like, at least for me, that was a big like place where I first saw you. So
Mm.
like, what was your experience like being on Glee, just period?
It was life changing for me. I mean, for my career and everything, and the Emmy nominations helped quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be on something that was so hugely groundbreaking, and I think for every demographic, and I think that's one thing that Ryan tried to hit was, every demographic as far as gay, straight, bi, and then and we had the transgender character, but then at the end for Beast to transition in season 6, that was like, I didn't know how to take it at first, to be honest, being that I didn't want to let the big girls down who, with the whole thing with the domestic violence with Cooter and all that and everything that Beast went through. I didn't want them, because it was like she was always like the underdog and the superhero for the big girls, and that they have trouble too. And so many people said, oh, she would have kicked Cooter's ass and all this stuff, and it's like, you don't know what somebody's going through at home. You have no idea. None of us know what somebody goes through at home. And so but my big thing is I never want to offend anybody in any character that I'm playing or role that I'm doing. And I'll never do something that is disrespectful to women in any. I hope that I haven't, but I mean, I've turned down a few jobs where I thought they were not just stupid, and the fact that somebody wanted to actually do it was a comic who thought he was pretty funny, but whatever. And I refused to do his show. I had done it once, and it turned from this funny little skit into this disrespectful piece of junk. And I swore I'd never work with him again. And they wanted me to come back, and I said, absolutely not. So, but I mean, Glee was, I'm sorry, I got a little shiny there, but
you're good.
No, Glee was amazing on so many levels.
Well, and I feel like as you're saying that, it's also kind of there's a couple things I want to talk about in what you just said. The first of them is like why, and I mean not that Glee didn't do this, because obviously Glee had a number of characters with like all sorts of representation, like you were saying, but I think it is also why it's important to like have, so like you can't just have everything kind of shoehorned onto like one or two people, you know, because then you
Mhm.
do like, you feel like you're like, oh, am I losing the representation of like one part of who Coach Beast was to like show a
Mhm.
different type of representation, and where does that leave you when you feel like you're in between these two things? Like that's one thing. But I also think it, something else that you said that like stood out to me is you were saying like how groundbreaking it was, and I feel like you, the
Yeah.
roles that you've played, like you've been in so many things, because obviously, you know, we want to get into talking about Bros at some point too, that you have like, you get to play things in like what is the like groundbreaking thing of the day, you know, like you have this career where you've
Right.
gotten to see so much of that change and growth, and like, you know, where we were then and where we've gotten since then, and I feel like we're probably going to come back around to that idea as well. So anyways, yeah, you've just gotten to, you're doing it all, you've done some cool stuff.
I'm trying. I started so late. I've only been doing this, well, it's a long time, but this is my 30th year
Wow.
doing. I started when I was 27, so well, hell, I'm 58, so it's going to be 31 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. I still can't believe I get to do this,
Yeah.
you know.
And like Lee said, like I love that you get to do this in so many different types of groundbreaking representation. I would love if you could talk to us a little bit about, like, because you said like you've been doing this for 30 years. Like what's the
Mhm.
difference between the roles you were like getting called in for or auditioning for when you first started, and now you're like, okay, here's the landscape of TV and movies, and here's the types of roles I'm getting called in for now.
I think one of the big differences that I've noticed is like back in the day, it's like, and I always say this, I never had like some big coming out type of deal. I just was myself. And if you knew me, you knew my life. And it's funny because now it's like the lesbian character, the gay character, or any of those type of characters that back 30 years ago were like, oh, well, it was the tough chick. But then when you go
Mm-hmm.
to work, it's like, um, God, I don't even know how to say it. It was like a lesbian character, but then it was like, are you okay with that? And I'm like, and now it's like, hey, come on, we need you to play this dyke. Get in here. We need, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. And it's like, it's, it took 30 years for them to go ahead and just say it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah, yeah.
skirting around what they really wanted and stuff. It's
Yeah,
like,
you're just playing like a rough around the edges kind of
yeah,
gal, an
yeah,
independent gal who doesn't
Yeah.
yes.
need a man.
A no nonsense tough chick.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
got
It's
a
like,
biker vest, she's got
yeah.
opinions,
It's like,
but
give me a
she's
freaking
probably
break.
still straight under all of that. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Exactly. It's so
I love
funny.
that. I mean,
She's just misunderstood, you know?
we do